Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, let's talk about something we've all been through. You get this amazing, powerful new software for your team, but how do you get them to actually use it? That's what we're going to break down today.
So, does this sound familiar? You've invested in a fantastic new digital tool, but your team's frustrated, maybe productivity's even dipping a little. Well, you're definitely not alone. It's a super common problem, and the fix? It's usually a lot simpler than you might think.
See, here's the thing. The issue usually isn't the tool itself. It's all about the training. And the good news? There's a proven framework out there that can flip this whole thing from a total headache into a massive win for your mission. So let's get into it step by step.
Okay, first things first. Let's dig into why so many of these training programs just fall flat. Because when new tech gets rolled out the wrong way, it's not just about losing a few hours. It's way bigger than that. It can frustrate your team, put the brakes on your mission, and even, start to chip away at the trust you've worked so hard to build.
You see, the goal isn't just learning the software. No way. It's about building a system, a process that just works. Without a solid plan, even the best tools create mess and inefficiency. And that can really put your relationship with your donors at risk. A great training plan does the opposite. It builds a system that strengthens your entire operation.
All right, so before you build anything, you got to survey the land, right? You need a lay of the land. And that's exactly what this next step is all about. We need to get a really clear picture of what you're working with, both with your people and with your tech.
And we do that with something called a skills audit. Now, this isn't a test. It's not about trying to catch anyone out. Think of it more like a strategic first move. It helps you pinpoint the critical gaps so you're not wasting everyone's time teaching them stuff they already know.
And a really good audit goes beyond just, practical skills. You got to look at 3 different things. First, sure, their comfort level with stuff like databases or reporting. But just as important is how they learn. Are they visual people? Do they need to get their hands dirty? And finally, their mindset. Are they pumped for this new tool or a little hesitant? Knowing all 3 is absolutely crucial.
To get really useful info, you have to get specific. Vague questions get you vague answers, right? So instead of how do you feel about email, ask something super targeted like this. This is how you move from just a general vibe to hard data about what your team can actually do.
And hey, don't forget, this audit isn't just about your team's skills. You got to look at your tech infrastructure too. Do your tools actually talk to each other? Can your computers even handle the new software? Is your data a clean, organized library or a messy garage? And are the security permissions set up right? Because if you're trying to train people on a clunky, slow system, you're basically setting them up to fail from the get-go.
Okay, so once you know your starting point, you've surveyed the land, you know your team's skills and your tech's limitations, now you can draw the map. This is where you create your training blueprint, the plan for getting from here to there.
And this is so important. Vague goals like, let's get better at the new tech, just don't work. You need to get specific and measurable. Think about goals that are tied directly to people's actual jobs, like a coordinator can update a profile in under 15 minutes, or your development team can pull their own donor lists. When you set goals like these, everyone knows exactly what the finish line looks like.
And how you structure this journey is key. You can't just throw the entire user manual at them on day 1. It's got to be progressive. You start with the absolute basics, just logging in, navigating around. Then you move to intermediate stuff like running reports, and only then do you get to the advanced workflows. This way, you're building skills on top of skills and nobody gets overwhelmed or left behind.
Remember that skills audit we did? This is where it really pays off. Because we know that one size definitely does not fit all when it comes to learning. So you need a mix of methods. Some workshops, sure, but also one-on-one mentoring, video tutorials for the visual learners, and plenty of hands-on practice. It's all about catering to different learning styles.
All right, blueprint's done. Now it's time to actually build this thing. This next section is all about the doing, the training, the support, and of course, measuring to make sure it's all working.
And this part is non-negotiable. The training has to be hands-on. We're talking real-world scenarios that your team faces every single day. Forget boring theory. Get them in there, using test data to onboard a pretend sponsor or to troubleshoot a mock payment problem. The more it feels like their actual job, the more it's going to stick. But here's a crucial point. The learning doesn't stop when the workshop ends. Not even close. That's really just the beginning. You need an ongoing support system. Think about designating peer mentors, appointing a champion for the new platform in eeach department, having regular check-ins, and building your own internal FAQ.
This is what turns a one-off training session into real, lasting expertise.
So, how do you know if any of this is actually working? Simple, you measure it, because you can't improve what you don't measure. You need to track your progress with clear metrics to see the real impact of your training, and, let's be honest, to justify the investment.
And this doesn't have to be some crazy, complex dashboard. Look at this, a simple bar chart showing data entry errors before and after training. Bam! Right there, you have clear, visual proof that what you're doing is working. And that kind of data, it does more than just fill out a report. It builds momentum and gets the whole team fired up.
Okay, so let's bring this all home. Let's connect this entire process back to the thing that matters most, your mission. Because at the end of the day, this is about way more than just tech.
So what is the true return on this investment? What's the ultimate goal? It's not just about having a team that's good with computers or having perfectly clean data. I mean, those things are awesome, but the real payoff is something so much bigger.
Here it is. It's about giving your team back their time and their energy, so they can focus on the people you're there to serve. That's the whole point. When your staff spends less time wrestling with technology, they can spend more time doing the meaningful, human work that actually drives your mission forward.
And that is the real ROI. It's not just about being more efficient. It's about freeing up your team to build those meaningful connections, to go deeper, to have a bigger, better impact. That's the end game.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Is training just an expense on your budget, or is it a true investment in your mission? Because when you follow a framework like this, you can be confident that every single hour and every single dollar you spend on training is directly fueling the success of what you do.